Well, good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Steve Murray with Insurance Agency Marketing Services. I'm the president here on Tuesdays and on some Fridays. I join in with Dave and we do kind of sales or marketing or educational based webinar with our producers. And so I always look forward to these. Thank you all for joining us. I'm constantly amazed by the level of uh, participation that we get in these in particular because they are so much more education based, and obviously the benefit is to your clients and your prospecting a little bit, but it's a lot to your clients and helping your clients. So I really appreciate the fact that you all have joined us here today. As you all know, we're going to talk about Social Security claiming, and our guest speaker will be Dave Pimper. Dave has been working in the Social Security claiming field for about, I'm terrible, but I think it probably been about 9 years now, pretty extensively. And so over that time, he's gotten to be a pretty good stick at understanding Social Security and the opportunities and benefits and things that you need to know. And he's kind of distilled a lot of the questions down to 5 basic areas. And that's what we're going to talk about today. We'll also talk about some of the ways that you can use that Social Security, you can gain more knowledge and use that Social Security claiming to your benefit for your clients, and also how you can become a little bit more renowned, if you will, in your area and prospect using Social Security claiming. So great webinar today. As I mentioned, Dave Pimper is our guest speaker. He's the president of Lazarus Coaching. Been in the business since the early 80s. I think he told me he just passed his 40th year anniversary in the business. So congratulations to him on that. From your standpoint, what that means is, he's an experienced individual and he's going to give you information that can help you grow your business as a salesperson and as an advisor to your clients, which I know that's one of the main reasons that you tune into webinars here with Dave. So looking forward to a great show. There'll be a couple polls that will pop up. There'll be an opportunity for you to type in questions and we'll get them answered as quickly as we can. And then at the end, you'll have an opportunity if you would like to get more information from Dave, or whether regarding seminars or radio or just a better understanding Social Security claiming. So great webinar today. Thank you all for joining us. Watch for polls. When you see polls come up, just yes or no is where we try and put those. So not a lot of thought goes into them. If you have interest, great. If you don't, that's okay too. We appreciate you letting us know what you're how you're feeling about things. We've got a lot of new folks, and I mentioned, for Friday, I'm just amazed at how many people are on. And as I look at the names, I see there are a lot of folks that maybe have not been with us or not been with us that long. So new producer builders, these are things that during your first 180 days of being with IAMS, if you get to these production levels, you can claim these claim the benefit that is of most interest to you. As you look at those, you can see most of them are built around helping you grow your business, but there are some things that are just reward, whether it's cash or whether it's, we've got like a trip. If you want to take advantage of a Ritz-Carlton type vacation with your guest, you can take advantage of that. But most of them are built around building your business. What I would say is that if there's something else that you want to do, something that you want to try or something that you're already using, and we can help you with the financial commitment from us towards that, we would just as soon do that as well. The bottom line is that we're looking for ways to thank you for your business and to help you grow your business. A couple of things that we do on a regular basis, and most of you are already aware of these and take advantage of them, are our referred producer program and also marketing reimbursement. Referred producer program works really simply. If you refer somebody to us and get licensed, we're going to send you a check for $50. No big deal, but the opportunity comes when they do business. We're going to pay you a bonus based on their business. We call that referred producer money. Nothing comes out of their pocket. They get all the same things and benefits that you get. We just pay you a little bit out of our marketing budget, our advertising budget, because of all the places we can spend money, as you can imagine, we'd much rather send you a check than send a check to a magazine or send a check to an email company or Google or whoever that we use to get the word out there about IAM. So if you're willing to do that on our behalf, we would much rather send you the check. And those checks we send them out generally quarterly. Some of the guys get them on a monthly basis just because they're larger. Generally, we send those out on a quarterly basis, and those are the largest checks we send out because our business was built from in the same way that a lot of you all built your business, which is via referral. Marketing reimbursement: when you do business, money goes in your marketing reimbursement account. When you spend money to grow your business, we're going to match your spend. So you basically get double duty for your sale, for your marketing dollars. So take advantage of those two programs. Firelight, we got lucky. We put Firelight in place about 2-3 years ago now, and then the pandemic hit, and so everybody wanted to do e-apps. And What we found is a lot of folks who we do business with discovered that e-apps are really a great way to do business for a lot of reasons. Number one, you always got the right paperwork, which is great. Number two, because you can single sign on with IAMS and get most of the companies you're going to do business with. What that means is that that paperwork is resident in your Firelight on our site. So if you're doing an app one day on Joe with company A, and then you want to do an app a year later on Joe with company B, you can go in and you can basically just do a cut and paste of all that information, look through it, maybe update it with your client. Obviously, suitability things change, but most of that information is resident on there. So you don't have to go back and redo that app. And then you send an email to your client, and they do a signature approval, and you're off to the races. Very professional, very thorough, and it eliminates a lot of the opportunity for misses. So if you talk to a company, what they will tell you, which is insane in itself, but they'll tell you that their apps done via e-app get processed about on average 10 days faster. And my question is, why does it take 10 days to process an application to begin with? But obviously that's cash with app and goes through a little bit quicker now with suitability and all that stuff. But there's going to be a marked difference in processing time that you're going to find with your e-apps because of, no missing paperwork, no missing blanks, just a quicker transmission. And of course, it gets into their system quicker because it's an e-app. So if you haven't looked at that and you want to, give your sales director a call, get on our single sign-on. It's about a 3-minute registration process, and then you can go into our system and do that, and across all the carriers that you do business with us with. Our advertising team, I want you to think of them as just kind of your personal advertising agency. And it's an advertising agency that specializes in working with folks just like you. And they're going to do a lot of that work pro bono, all of it at cost, because obviously this is not a profit center for us. It is a business development center. So we use your marketing reimbursement dollars. What we can do, we're going to do for free. What there needs to be some money exchanged for, we're going to use marketing reimbursement dollars to do that at cost. So it's a really great way to help you increase your image, build your image, improve your image in your area at at cost or less. So take advantage of our advertising team. Again, the first step there would be to call your sales director up and say, hey, this is what I'm thinking, or what do you think I should do? And they'll show you some pieces that you can get personalized right away, which are no cost, just a matter of getting your logo and stuff on there. But there's some other things that we can do that have been very effective at helping to build business. Retirement Analyzer is a nice little package that you can use direct with your consumers. That's what it's designed for. And you can see before you there the questions that you can answer with the Retirement Analyzer software. What I would say is that if you've got A and B, your best clients, your A level, B level clients, and you want to present them with something that is more global regarding where they're at on their retirement journey, the Retirement Analyzer is, we think, the best tool in the industry to do that. And so that's why we take care of the expense for our producers. And even if you're not producing with us yet, just getting rolling and want to have a look at it, try it out, we're glad to do that for you. And if it gets to where you're using it and doing business, then we're going to take care of the expense. If you go out to Retirement Analyzer and try and purchase that on your own, you're probably going to be spending about $80, $90 a month for it. So think of that as the savings doing business with IAMS. And the reason that we do that is we really want to encourage you to take a look at it. I think you'll find there's a little work on the front end, but we think in terms of the input versus what you get in terms of quality output, we think it's the best combination there in the industry, and that's why we like it. And we think that, if you're working with something like this with a lot of your clients, it's very impressive. It's going to show them exactly where they're at, be very beneficial to them, and make your relationship with them long-term. And so we want to help with that. So that's why we have that. If you're interested, call Marcus up, call David up, say, hey, walk me through the basics, get me a link to it, let me try it out. Do one on yourself, do it on one of your top clients, and let's see how it goes for you. Oops, I don't know what happened there. Take that off. IAMS Wealth Management, it's no doubt true that the DOL has enacted the Trump DOL ruling, and that took place last February. And before the year is out, they're going to add more to that, more regulation around the DOL. And that was the reason 4 or 5 years ago that we established IAMS Wealth, because we really feel like it's going to, in some ways, require you to offer a new level of advice and product opportunities to your clients. And there's a few ways that you can do that. You can refer that business out. You could refer it to IAMS Wealth. In many states, we can help you with that. Or you could get a 65 and many of you have already taken that step, and maybe you're not happy with your RIA. If you're not happy with your payouts, our payouts are pretty simple. They're a little bit over 1% to the advisor, and they don't go through a grid, so you don't get 90, 80, 70, 60%. You get 1%, and that's an annual fee. Our fees, and every RIA has to have them, but our fees are very, very competitive. And what I hear most is what you get for your fees is incredible. And I think that's true. Besides getting the service and compliance that you kind of come to expect, you're going to get a higher level of service with Iams Wealth maybe than you've come to expect, but you're also going to get your E&O is going to be covered. You're going to get a database. You're going to get a website. You're going to get that ongoing assistance to help you grow your business, because that's what we do here at Iams. I mean, Iams Wealth is an extension of what we do, and that service level is very high. So you're going to get all that. So if you're not happy with the current RIA, let me do this. I should have done this a second ago. I'm going to throw up a quick poll. If you want to talk to the folks over at Iams Wealth real quick, just put yes on that poll. If you're looking to, and here's why you'd want to chat with them. If you're looking to get a 65 and you have insurance in your background, most of our advisors on Iams Wealth, that's the track that they were on. So we were able to help them through the process of getting their materials, getting their testing done, support them through that, and then getting them up to speed on what they need to know to offer a different level of service and advice to their clients. So if we can help you with that, we'd love to. If you already have your IAR but not happy with your RIA support on any of those levels, we'd love to help you. If you're not happy with your payouts, we'd love to help. If you think your fees are too high, we'd love to help you. And it's probably a 4 or 5 minute conversation unless you want to have it longer with them. So really easy conversation to have. It's unfortunate but true that I think going forward here, at the end of this year and then the first part of next year in through 22 and 23, it's just going to become almost imperative that you have the ability to offer other than just insurance products to your clients, whether that's, like I said, via referral to someone in your area, which is not ideal, via referral to someone like Iams Wealth, where we can help them with that, which we're certainly glad to do that if your state allows it and we can. And of course, the best option is for you to get your 65 yourself. So if that's in the cards for you and we can help you, we'd love to. We have a couple of people that haven't voted, which is great. If there's something we can help you with there and you're unable to vote, what I would ask is that you just give me a call here at the office, 800-255-5055. Easy conversation if you want to have it with me to see if there might be opportunity. If you want to have a more in-depth conversation with the team, that can be arranged, obviously, as well. I'm going to close that one out if I can get her done. There we go. Thank you all, by the way, for quick voting. I want to make sure you're all aware of our Top Producers Summit. We're going to have a great trip. We've got just a little under a year now to qualify to do 4.5 million of annuity premium, about 1/10 of that of life premium, about 75% of that of single premium life. In other words, everything has a different value. Any business you have has a different value to qualify. Annuity premium is 1-to-1. All your business that you do at Iams is going to count towards qualification. It's going to be a great trip. We're going to start in Rome. We're going to sail down the Italian coast, back up through the coast along Greece, Montenegro, Croatia, and end up back in Italy at Venice. It's going to be a great trip. We'd love to have you and your guests join us. We're all going to be on the concierge level, so 24-hour service and everything you can think of. Everybody's going to have a balcony, and we're going to be basically sailing along the coastline. So if you're a person that doesn't really like the high seas, I think you'll like this trip better, because you're basically right along the coast the whole time, and that's going to make having a balcony really nice. And so it'll be great for you and your guests. Hope you can join us. Plenty of time to qualify. We're going to ship out towards the end of August of 2022, and you're going to be coming back Labor Day weekend of 2022. So hopefully you can join us on that trip with you and your guests. Whatever we can do to help you qualify, by all means, let me know. I want to throw a poll up here as well. So we're back in the academy business finally. Things have calmed down. And so late September of this year, we're going to have our first academy. It's going to be the first academy in the last 20 months or so, or 18 months or so. So we'd love to have you join us on that. If you have interest in joining us in an academy, what I want you to do is check yes on this poll. And if you do, check yes, then we'll send you out the registration form, and we'll get you on the list. So actually, it looks like we've got 2 academies on the docket now for this year. We're going to go September 29th through the 3rd. Or 2nd of October, and then we're going to go November 3rd through the 5th. Those are both Wednesday through Friday. You'll come in on Wednesday. We're going to take care of your expenses. We're going to take care of your travel. We're going to take care of your lodging. We're going to take care of your meals, and you're going to hear from 3 or 4 of our top producers. You're going to hear from some company experts. You're going to hear from the IAMS team about better ways to market and better sales ideas to grow your business. So it's going to be jam-packed. We'll go Wednesday night, all day Thursday, Friday morning, get you back. So you're going to be out of your office for 3 days, and we're going to take care of those expenses. So your expense is going to be that time spent away from your office. You're going to be with about 40 to 45 top producers like yourself, people that make their living just like you, and so that's always good. You're going to have some opportunities there to share or to hear from other top producers, people that are regularly in that 8, 10, $12 million range in terms of their production, what they do to grow their business, which is going to be, I think, the most valuable or kind of the centerpiece of the academy. And so if you want to get more information on that, check yes on that poll, and we will get you up and rolling. If you've been in the last year or two, what I would say in general there is, if you want to check yes, you may, but people that have been, of course, nobody's been in the last year, but if you want to come back, we might be able to arrange that, but that's going to have to be a conversation. We want to make it available as we can to people that have not been in, but certainly we understand the value of coming back in if you've been in. So let us know, check yes on that poll if you have interest. If not, that's okay too. We do have no problems, as you can imagine, filling those up over the last 14 years, and we're not going to have any problems filling this one up as well. So don't be afraid to put no on that poll as well. I'm going to close it out. Thank you again all for voting. Again, it looks like we got the same 2 or 3 that haven't voted. My guess is that's a technical issue. If you'd like to be included in Academy, give us a call here at 800-255-5055 if you were unable to vote. I don't know why it says 2020 dates and locations. Those are going to be 2021 dates and locations. Okay, let's close that out. Like us and follow us. There are some things that we make available on our LinkedIn page that are available no other places. So if you haven't already, follow IAMS Insurance Agency Marketing Services. Just go into your LinkedIn. If you're on there, type it in the search bar, Insurance Agency Marketing Services, follow us, and then you'll start seeing some of those offers. We have our 2021 tax package, our 2021 sales and marketing packages are the live ones out there right now. Take advantage of those. Okay, I'm gonna now, let me make sure Dave is with us. He is in the process of trying to join as we speak, which is great. I want to remind you that if you have any questions, go ahead and type them in. We'll get them asked and answered just as quickly as we can, and give you a little background on Dave and what we're going to talk about today. So I gave you some of Dave's, for those that were on right away this morning, I gave you some background on Dave. A lot of years in the business. He's a producer, both securities and insurance, is how he's built his business over the years. And so he's actively in the marketplace and doing exactly what you're doing today. He's going to talk a little about Social Security claiming. Radio always comes up because of right now, that's been the most beneficial way that we have. That, I mean, Dave talks about Social Security claiming every radio show, so it's great to have him aboard there, and he'll talk about that a little bit. But we're seeing seminars light back up now, a lot of face-to-face seminars getting done, so a lot of great ways to promote your knowledge around Social Security claiming that are going to be available in working with Dave and his staff at Lazarus Coaching. So Dave, thank you for joining us here this morning. Great to have you aboard. Everybody knows everything that there is to know about you and Lazarus Coaching at this point, so I'm going to turn the floor over to you to talk about Social Security claiming. Possible, Dave, that you may still be muted yet.
Hello, Mr.
There you
Murray.
are.
How are you? No, I wasn't muted. I just got out of an appointment, so
Oh, congrats.
I'm humping it like every person on this webinar today.
You bet. You bet. At a higher level in terms of marketing than most. And so I know we're going to talk about that some today around Social Security claiming as well to help grow their business. So really good stuff. Thanks for making it aboard today. And let's talk about Social Security claiming.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you everybody for being on a Friday. Got a good attendance today, so I'm pleased about that. Taking time out of the field means you're not making money by contacting clients or prospects. So I do appreciate. Hopefully, I'll make it worth the time that we have in the next 35, 40 minutes. I want to say this just right off the get go. We're going to be done with our webinar in about 35 minutes. So at about 5 till the top of the hour, which is Central Time, 5 to 11, we will be done. So this is not going to be a long, but it's going to be a lot of information. It's going to be in depth talking about Social Security claiming. Been in the business for 40 years, started in 1981, actually July the 9th of this month was my 40th year in the business. I do both protective, like fixed index, fixed life, and also from the security side. Social Security is a great inroad. I cannot say that enough or emphasize it enough. It's a great inroad to understanding of a person's overall financial health because of the questions you ask to find out when is the right time to take your Social Security. It is just so important that you have all of the background information, and that's where you're uncovering assets to look at going in and having some kind of a commissionable or fee-based sale, from that portfolio. So what we're going to do today is we're going to take a little quiz. And I have here why you, the advisor, should understand Social Security. This comes from Sarah O'Brien with CNBC. A majority of older Americans get no professional advice about a key part of their retirement planning, Social Security, even if they work with a financial advisor, a recent study concluded. Social Security is of the utmost importance for income planning for retired folks. 60%, nearly 60% of all retired people say that Social Security is the major source of income. Most people don't really understand, most advisors don't really understand how to calculate or how to answer the questions when it comes to Social Security claiming. And that's something that Dave Pimper, myself, and IAMS, Insurance Agency Market Service, that Steve is the co-owner of, what happens is we're big believers of really going out and explaining Social Security claiming so you can, with our advisors, so you can do that. We make coaching available. Actually, there's three different ways that you can go in and get coached up on Social Security. One is through seminar marketing. In-face Social Security seminars we're really getting busy and really getting hot right now. I've already done one. I had two nice pieces of business for my first one, had 10 appointments. So that's one, and we coach you up in social claiming from that at no charge. IAMS, the FMO pays me, stipends me to do it. The other one is Retirement Boss Radio. We just set up three cities in the last 3 weeks, so we're really cooking on that too, being your own radio host. And the cost may run between $2,500 and maybe $4,000 a month, but think about getting in front of thousands and thousands of people listening to every an hour every week on a major AM station there. So we coach you up on Social Security there because a lot of questions come in from Social Security. It's a hot subject, and then we can just a la carte you. You don't want to do any marketing, but you pay $800. I take that back. You go on in, it's 3 sessions. You pay $600, $200 a session, $600, and it gets you coached up on Social Security claiming. So let's take this test. So I want you to take this test with me. All right? Take this test with me. Here's the question number 1. We'll see how much you know about Social Security claiming. To maximize your monthly Social Security checks, at what age must you claim benefits? To maximize your monthly Social Security checks, at what age must you claim benefits? So what age is that? Any idea? It is age, not full retirement age, but you know what age it is? It's age 70. That's the time to go on in and to claim Social Security to get the maximum amount benefit. It is at the age of 70. There we go. And I'm sorry about this. For some reason, let me do this real quick here. If I can get out of this, I kind of goof this up a little bit. See if this works. There we go. Okay, so let's go back to question number 2. What's the earliest age you can receive survivor's benefits if you're not disabled? What's the earliest age you can receive survivor's benefits if you're not disabled? Age 60. Yep, for survivors, if one of the spouses had died. Only 9% of the people knew that. Does your spouse need to receive benefits for you to qualify for spousal benefits? Does your spouse need to receive benefits for you to qualify for spousal benefits? Answer is they do. They do. Number 4. Can divorced spouses receive spousal benefits? Can divorced spouses receive spousal benefits? Answer: yes. If 4 stipulations are met, now if you can guess 2 of the four stipulations or those rules, I'll give you credit for this question. So write down 2 of them. What 2 things that have to happen? Here we go. In order, first of all, you're married. Your marriage must have lasted 10 years or longer continuously. Secondly, you're currently unmarried, not the spouse, not the ex, but you. The ex is at least 62, and the divorce was at least 2 years ago or longer. Those are the 4 things that have to line up to do it. But if you got 2 of them right, I'll give you an answer yes on that. And then, are you eligible for survivor benefits if you're divorced? Are you eligible for survivor's benefits if you're divorced? Here's the answer: yes, if those stipulations are met. And we just went through the 4. So how'd you do on those questions? If you got them all right, great. If you got 4 or 5, that's great. But anything less than that, or if you guessed on every one, yeah, maybe you need some background. Maybe you need to go on in and have someone like myself to go in and help you with the Social Security questions. Now, if you've got questions, type them in. I'll be more than happy to answer those for you. So this is from Jana Heron from USA Today. Doing this one thing with your Social Security could mean losing $100,000 in retirement. That's a lot of money. Here, what does bullet point 1 say? How much does claiming Social Security at the wrong time cost you? Bullet point 2. Retirees will lose an average of $111,000 in income per household. $111,000 in income per household over your lifetime. Why? For the simple fact that they took Social Security benefits at the wrong time. Isn't that something? Overall, only 4% of retirees took Social Security at the financially optimal age. Isn't that something? Only 4% of retirees took Social Security at the financially optimal age. Social Security is so important, and so many people, 96%, don't take it at the right time to maximize it. So when you're looking at kind of a stroll down memory lane, Social Security was started in 1935. It was not supposed to be the retirement income. It was supposed to supplement your other sources of income, whether those be pensions or annuities or stream or assets or farmland income, whatever it happens to be. First check was in 1940. The average age the average age of a person dying back then was age 62 in 1935. They started paying you at 65. Those are good odds for the government. Not the way today. Average age of living now is in high 70s. In the future, low 80s. But that age 65 changed in 1961 under John F. Kennedy. You could take at a reduced amount if you took early, but you could take it now. And then shortly after that, you could wait longer, and it was increased. First taxation wasn't until 83. More taxation in Social Security if you're above certain brackets in 93. And the Bipartisan Budget Act was the last time there was major change with file and suspend coordinating spousal benefits phasing out in 6 months and then restricted application phasing out actually January 2nd of 2024. If you're born before January the 2nd of 1954, you can still restrict your application. We'll talk more about that here in a little bit. How important is Social Security? It's darn important. It's darn important. 59% of all retirees count their Social Security as a major source of income. Actually, more than personal savings, more than pensions. If you want to if you know nothing about Social Security claiming, not a darn thing. If you just listen to this next slide, you'll know more than probably 30% of all Americans. Social Security has three important ages or dates. Three important ages or dates. What's the earliest you can take as an individual benefit? Age 62. What's the latest that you can take? You got to take by 70 or you just don't get any benefit. And then there's an age in the middle. If you're born between 1943 and 1954, your full retirement age is 66. It stair steps up 2 months per year up to the age of 1960 or later, where your full retirement age is 67. A newborn born today, full retirement age for Social Security may not be in the future, but today it's age 67. If you take earlier, here we go. If you take earlier than full retirement age, like 64, 63, 62, you get a reduction in your benefit. Up to 30% if you take it 62. But you get the benefit now. And it's discounted for the rest of your life. If you wait later than full retirement age, the negative is you don't get any money now, but it increases a guaranteed 8% a year. Remember, cost of living is involved with all of this. Any Social Security benefit makes no difference if it's individual, if it's spousal, survivor, divorce, disability, a child benefit, every benefit. If there's COLA, cost of living adjustment increase, they get it. But if you wait longer to take it, the benefits increased a guaranteed 8% by the U.S. government. No other income stream or investment, for that matter, can pay that. It's a great. If you're going to live long enough for a break even, it could be a wonderful thing. Any questions? Type them on in. Okay. Trust fund ran an increase last year, $3 billion, and actually it actually ran a $6 billion increase in 2019. We don't know 2020 yet because it hasn't come off, but we think there'll probably be a deficit. The first time since 1983, believe it or not, that's the last time the trust fund was bankrupt. So you hear about Social Security going bankrupt. It's the trust fund. Social Security per se income stream cannot go bankrupt. It can be lessened. But bankrupt scares people like you're going to get, if you have a $2,000 benefit, you'll get nothing. No, because you've got payroll taxes, 6.2% you pay, the 6.2% your employer pays. That pays for, it has always paid for the income stream of Social Security. It has since 1983, but now we're going to have to start dipping in the trust fund, and the trust fund will run out, projected by Social Security Administration trustees by the year 2035. That's 14 years, actually 13 and a half years. It'll run out of money. Then we'd probably lose about close to 25 to 30%, or 20 to 25% of our income stream. So is there something we could do to get that bumped up? Yeah, either taxation or increase the date. Well, retirement age, increase the age of 70 to maybe 72 or 3. There's probably going to be something of both, because both the Democratic camp would probably rather tax more. The Republican camp would probably increase more. There'll probably be some kind of union between the two. So is Social Security, is it funded by payroll taxes? Yes. And then by the trust fund, if the payroll taxes doesn't pay for it all. And the trust fund probably for 2020 is a year, we would normally know by now, but it's been delayed because of the COVID, but probably will run a deficit. Does the USA borrow and issue IOUs against the special issue Treasury bonds? Yes, virtually all of them. But they're IOUs, and same backing that the currency gets. I mean, what backs your dollar? Full faith and credit of the United States government. It's not a Ponzi scheme. Never has missed a payment. It's been an unbelievable benefit for people. So how do you figure out how much you're going to get? First of all, you have to have 40 quarters of coverage, or 40 credits, they're called now. 40 quarters of Social Security coverage of working. So if you work to put into Social Security, you have to work $1,470. If you make $1,470 in a year, you get 1 quarter. The maximum you can have is 4 credits in any working calendar year. So 1,470 times 4 is $5,880. That's the minimum amount you need in any given year this year to get 4 quarterly credits. You need 10 of those. So you need 4 times 10, you need 10 years. You need 40 quarters, 10 years of work. The work doesn't have to be continuous, just as long as you get quarters. This is adjusted for inflation year by year. Then, as long as you got 40 quarters, now you qualify. Then the government, Social Security Administration, takes your 35 highest inflation adjusted years. Okay? And when they do that, when they take your highest adjusted years, what happens is that the more money that you make, the bigger those are. The more money you make, the bigger there are. Now, let me do this, and I think that restored again. I'm sorry, we're having a little trouble with our video today, so I do apologize about that. Okay, so we'll go make this bigger. Now, what happens, you know what, we're having a little bit technical, so what I'll do is, I can't bring this back in, but I'll just keep on talking. So just listen, because what's going to happen here is we're going to go through the individual benefit. We're going to go in and we're going to have the, and I'll go back. Yeah. So if you go in, there we go. So if you go in and you take early, it's going to be reduced. It's going to be reduced up to 70% if you take it 62. Then every year you wait, it increases. So benefit now, but it's delayed. How about full retirement age and later? It's guaranteed to grow 8%. So if you're 66 and you wait to 70, you're going to grow 32%. If you average 2% inflation and compound that out, that's another 9-10%. You know, your account grows over 40% in 4 years. That's a big deal. I mean, if you go in and you got a $3,000 benefit, a very good benefit, if you wait 4 years, you have a $3,200 benefit. Big deal. So let's talk about the spousal benefit. And I always say, if you know the individual benefit, the spousal benefit, divorce spouse benefit, survivor benefit, and restricted application, if you know those 4 or 5 things, I'll tell you right now, what happens is that you will be able to answer almost every single question that there is. That's just because they're all revolve around that. So here, Dave's PIA is $2,000. That's primary insurance amount. That's your amount at full retirement age. Amy's PIA primary insurance amount is $1,000. Dave takes his, Amy takes hers. Dave gets all of his $2,400. Amy has the option. The lesser of the two benefits has the option of taking all of theirs or half of their spouses, whichever is higher. All of hers is $1,000. Half of the spouses is $1,200, which is higher. Half of Dave's. So she gets $1,200. And how that's calculated, she gets $1,000 of her benefit, individual benefit, and then she gets $200 of Dave's primary insurance amount. Pretty cool. Now, what happens if Dave doesn't take? He wants to wait to 70, but Amy wants to take it 66. Dave's not getting any benefit. Amy gets all of hers, and she cannot take half of Dave's until Dave claims his. So how much can she get? She could only get $1,200. That's all she can get. And I'm sorry if we're having trouble here. Just let me know if you can't hear me. So I apologize if we can't. Okay, now I think we can hear you. I'm sorry, but yeah, she gets the 1,200. What happens if she does if she doesn't make any money? If she doesn't make any money, once Dave turns his on, she can get half of his, but she can't get any until he turns his on. That's the spousal benefit, and that's how that works. Okay? Let's talk about divorce spouse benefit. And I can't, yeah, and I apologize. We're having trouble with audio again, but the divorce spouse benefit, I'll just keep talking like you're there. But the divorce spouse benefit, what happens on the divorce spouse benefit is, remember those stipulations? As long as you're currently unmarried, you were married for at least 10 years. What happens is, and Steve, are you there or not? I don't know if Steve is there or not yet, but what happens is, I think we're back in again. So what happens on this is that I'll go to divorce. Yeah, married last 10 years. Your ex is at least 62, and your divorce was at least 2 years or more ago. If those four things are lined up, you can use your ex just as if you're still married to them. And each one can use each one of their exes. It's double dipping on Social Security, but you can both do it. The reason married couples have many more benefits than single couples have. Okay? So that's really, really, really a plus. Social Security survivor benefit. My wife always says, no one gets out of here alive, and that's so true. So what happens is that the Social Security survivor benefit, let's for example say Dave's benefits 2,000, Amy's benefits 1,200, Dave dies, which is normally the man dies 75% of the time before the woman. It's just the way life is. Women outlive men. So Dave's benefits $2,000, Amy's is 1,200. She can either keep her benefit and not take Dave's, or she can drop her benefit and she can take Dave's. Interesting. So what's she going to do here? Of course, she's going to drop her benefit and get an $800 $800 top up of a $2,000 benefit from Dave. Now, interesting, on an individual benefit, you have to ask for that to get it. To start Social Security, they don't tell you when. It's up to you. On a spousal benefit, you don't have to ask for that. It's automatically given to you. The highest benefit is given to you. On survivor benefit, divorce benefit, you have to ask for it. If you don't ask for it, you don't get it. It's biblical. If you don't ask, you don't receive. And survivor benefit, again, you have to ask for it. If you don't ask for it, you don't get it. Also, if you look down to the last bullet point, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, the sixth bullet point, take survivor benefit at age 60 or later, and if you have it elected, let yours grow. Then turn it on later. And you can turn it on as long as you're past full retirement age. It's not turned on at a discount. Well, how cool is that? And that's all still part of the survivor benefit. Now, coordinating spousal benefits, this gets complicated. If we're coaching, I go through this much slower. I give you attachments. We role play. We do a lot to go into truly have you understand. There's a book, which I call it the Bible of Social Security, that we have you buy it. It's a $20 book by Amazon, used. It's a great book. And so if we're talking about individual benefits, you read that chapter on individual benefits. When we talk about survivor benefit, we talk about the survivor benefit. But the Bipartisan Budget Act of 2015, they phased out file and suspend in 6 months, but restricted application is still around. It's still around. As long as the person requesting it was born January the 2nd of 1954 or earlier. January of 1954, January 2nd of 1954 or earlier. If you were, so that puts you at about a little over 67 and a half. You can go in and do this, and this is pretty darn cool, and this will be going away here in the next couple of years. But here's what happens is, and now follow me. This is how complicated Social Security gets. Dave and Amy are both, for this scenario, I'm not going to discount the benefits, so they're both full retirement age, no discounting. Dave's PIA is 2,400, primary insurance amount. That's the amount at full retirement age. Primary insurance amount at full retirement age. That's why you'll hear me say a lot of times PIA at FRA, primary insurance amount at full retirement age. 2,400 for Dave, $1,000 for Amy. 2,400 for Dave, $1,000 for Amy. Amy asks for benefits. She wants money to come in the family, but Dave wants to wait. Well, that's a good strategy. Dave's just growing the delayed retirement credits 8%. But if you it's a loophole. But if you file a restrict application, he can still receive his 8% and delay it. But now he gets a spousal benefit of half of Amy's. Don't ask me why. It's a rule. So Amy gets her 1,000. Dave gets $500 all the way up until it can be as late as age 70 when he turns his on. Now, under this scenario, he loses the 500, but now Amy can go in and take a spousal benefit. She gets an extra $200 from half of Dave's 2,400. Had a lot of spinning plates. But I will tell you, $500 a month, $6,000 a year, 2 years, $12,000, 3 years, $18,000. That's a whole bunch of free money. Only 0.9% of everyone who would qualify for this benefit, everyone takes advantage of it. 99+% of the people that this would benefit leave it on the table. So, what can Social Security Administration do and what can't they do? You know what they can't do? They cannot give you advice. Want to hear something wild? When I got into this business, I called my CPA, my lawyer, which is my trust lawyer and will and estate planning and farm LLCs and everybody that I work with in my book of business. I throw him that business because he's very good, very knowledgeable. And I called my banker. All of them were up in their golden years of working. And I said to each one of them, do you understand and know enough about Social Security that you can give advice? And everyone said, absolutely not. Not at all. I said, well, who do you call when somebody needs advice? And every one of them said what? The Social Security Administration. Well, isn't it bizarre that they're sending them off to get advice and they cannot give advice? It's wild. They can tell your highest benefit right now. They can tell you what your benefit will be right now, the highest benefit. They cannot scenario plan. They cannot give you advice. Who does that? Dave Pimper. Who does that if they get coached up? Or Social Security. You guys, everybody on this webinar today, you can be the expert in your town, in your city. I'll tell you right now, Fremont, Nebraska, I'm not bragging, but 26,000, no one knows much about Social Security. And do I get referrals from professionals? Absolutely. Does it help my practice? Immensely. When I talk to people, I've had multiple times prospects have said, Dave, you know what? If you know that much about Social Security, I bet you're really good when it comes to financial planning. And I am, but not just because of Social Security. How can you work with the pre-retired and just retired of all the questions they have of Social Security? Why aren't you the one telling them? Well, I can coach you up on that. And we do it 3 different ways. As I said, do it through a seminar, through another marketing, through Retirement Boss Radio, being your own co-host, or just a la carte. I just want to learn Social Security. So really, really important. Now, let's go in and take a look at the next slide. I always say consider all of your income streams before you claim Social Security. And I want to read those because they're that important. Social Security, let's understand, it's not a standalone income stream. Social Security is the most flexible of all the income streams, claiming at your right time. Not the right time or not a right time, but at your right time can be paramount. And a lot of times you'll get like engineers and math geniuses that figure out the break even to the minute of the day. No, you know what? I'll say, did you figure your wife in that? Did you figure your husband in that? No. Well, then it's not really a break even. You got to figure that in there. I'd use this to find out what kind of assets they have. It's called the 5 Pillars of Income, which are your working wages, full or part-time, pensions, which I just read that only 4% of Fortune 500 companies have pensions now. Used to be 75% back 30 years ago. Income producing assets, income savings, IRAs, 401ks, cash values, money markets, bank accounts, all that. That's where we make our money. Giving them great advice on what to do with that. RMD's at 72. That got changed from 70.5 with the Secure Act. There's actually a Secure Act 2 now that are looking for it to go up to 75. I think that'll get passed. So phase it in over 10 years. I think it'll pass this year. Bipartisan budget, bipartisan support, which you hardly ever get today in Congress. But in Social Security, most flexible of when you're going to go on in. Now, as we're kind of finishing up with this webinar, and we're going to put up Steve, are you there or not yet? He'll be there shortly if he's not, but he's going to be putting up.
You betcha, Dave.
Putting up a slide. Hey, by the way, Steve, we've been knocking in and out of audio, and my slides got knocked out. I don't know why that is, but it said it's a connection, so we'll kind of keep an eye on that. We've been able to jump back on again. That's great.
Oh, okay. I apologize. I'm not sure.
Yeah, no, not a bit. But when to claim your Social Security? It is complicated. But if it's complicated for the advisor, how do you think the average layman or laywoman out there thinks? Oh, it's just truly complicated. Your own benefits, spousal, courting, spousal, divorce. I mean, your personal health history, your incomes, your assets. When you want to take. I mean, it goes on and on. But there's a lot to consider before you get your own best claiming benefit. Okay, Steve, can you move that forward to me, please? So, I want to bring up a little thing on procrastination, and then what we're going to do is we're going to throw the poll up. And the poll just says, would you like to get more information on Social Security? Would you like to get coached up on Social Security? And if you don't, I don't know why a person wouldn't, because not many FMOs, broker dealers, insurance companies are going to coach you up and be able to ask any questions down the road that you have. It's an ongoing tale of help, from myself and from Insurance Agency Marketing Services. But there's no saying. It says procrastination is my sin. It brings me constant sorrow. I really shouldn't practice it. Perhaps I'll stop. Tomorrow never comes. Don't let that happen to you. People who take action are the people who are the most successful. If you'd like to get more information on Social Security, mark yes. David Corwin will give you a call, line up a good time for yourself and myself to talk. This is a low-key 15, 20 minutes. What you're doing now, what you know about Social Security, how maybe it could help your business, how maybe seminars or being a retirement host of a radio show in your locale. Yeah. Or just one-on-one coaching on Social Security. No marketing. Yeah. 2 are paid for by IAMS. 1, it's a la carte. You paid the $600, but I'll tell you right now, $600. What's that? A $10,000 fixed index annuity that you'll get through your lifetime by knowing Social Security. Yeah. So hopefully you'll mark yes here. We'll be able to talk. Steve, I'll open this up to you, and we'll answer the final questions here.
Thanks, Dave. Great webinar. I always enjoy hearing you because you're passionate about the opportunities around Social Security. You're passionate about helping your clients and being a resource in your area. So I always enjoy our webinars around Social Security claiming. We had a great group on with us today, and there were a few questions. Maybe you blanked out or something happened with the audio, but there was a couple of folks that were wanting the name of the Social Security, what one person referred to as the Social Security Bible. I think they're probably referring to the PALMS manual.
No, they're not. There's a book, and I don't say the name of the book because they may not need me as a coach if they read this book. No, they still would. But I don't. I don't say the name of the book or who the author is. But we used to, Steve, you probably remember, we used to have like 3 or 4 different ones that we had people read. And then this book, actually, I ran across this and read it, and I loved it. I read it every year. In January of every year, I read this book cover to cover. But if you're coaching with me, then I will certainly give you the insight of what that book is so you can order it. But it's Yeah, it's the Bible. It absolutely. In fact, it says on the kind of the intro on the front cover that it's considered the Bible of Social Security. Worked for the Social Security Administration for over 30 years, and he's an author, and he's revised it many times. So if we're coaching, I can certainly tell you what that is.
You betcha. Radio. So 3 or 4 questions about radio. Some are about cost. There's 2 of them about cost, and I know you mentioned that it can be between 2,500 and 4,000, but I don't know that people fully understand
Yeah,
how that cost is broken out based on the questions that I'm seeing, because it is
yeah,
mostly subjective based on your area. Do you want to go through that for just a second?
yeah. Normally, the larger the area, the more cost is going to be. There's 3 costs to Social Security. Radio, by the radio time, is the biggest cost. That's about 3/4, 2/3 to 3/4 of the cost. But we have a radio buyer that is great. I mean, I thought he had 400 or 450 shows. I just talked to him yesterday. He's got 720 weekly shows that he's purchased radio time for.
He
That's
knows what he's
something.
doing. Yeah.
Oh, and right now we actually have a one right now that they were dealing directly with the radio station, and the radio salesperson there said, "No one will get a better rate than me. No one. You go to any radio bar you want, no one will get a radio. And it's owned by a great big radios, one of these conglomerates." Well, he said this is ridiculous. She was quoting 2.5 times higher than what the last time he bought at that station was 2 years ago. 2.5 times higher. And so I told this guy it's ridiculous. I mean, she's gouging us. And so he went on there, got her down 30%, but it's still way too high. He says, "Look, if you don't want to work with me on this, I'm going to go up." And this is 2 of the big senior management people with the national that have like iHeartRadio. I mean, all over, and he knows them. I
Sure.
mean, so we're out to get the very best radio time we can. Then there's a production company, and the production company, they have a co-host. So every time you have a co-host, a person that goes on in, and they are the color person. And this, we use the same person for all of the people that we've got on Retirement Boss Radio. It's franchised out. I mean, it's proprietary to Dave Pimper and to IAMS, the FMO of Insurance Agency Market Service, of course, with Steve's firm. Yeah, we record it. The recording is done in an office, your home. I mean, if you had good Wi-Fi, you could do it in your car, but it's off of your computer, and we give you the software. The only thing you've got to buy at all is just you got to buy a mic, professional mic from Amazon, and headphones, and a little kind of a wind mitt on it. Yeah, about $225. But other than that, everything is provided for you, and then they get the show notes, etc. They edit it, mix it, get it to the radio station, and then we have a call center that takes all the inbound calls and sets appointments. We never mail out information. They're set appointments, and we use an electronic calendar, both with them and yourself. It just works out great. I mean, there's a lot that goes into it. Sounds crazy, but we coach you up on Social Security. IAMS, the FMO, stipends me to coach you up on Social Security, because about 30% of the business we do is from Social Security calls. So if you don't know Social Security, then I coach you up. If you know it, that's wonderful. But those, and so that kind of gives you all of that. Yeah, the cost will run normally all in, and then I coach you up. I coach you up on Social Security. I coach you up on this another. It's another coaching session about radio and what are the things to say and not say, and I give you a lot of attachments. And if you go to www.retirementbossradio.com, www.retirementbossradio.com, that's our website, our homepage, landing page. There's a white paper, there's some podcasts of myself. You get a good feeling of what's involved. It's pretty slick though, and Steve, it's been really popular here, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Especially during the whole shutdown. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we kind of let off with that a little bit. Obviously, with social distancing and all that was going on, and still a little bit going on in some areas, and who knows what the future is going to hold there. That was more popular, but it was working great before too. It's a great way to get yourself out, get yourself known in the area, which is a side benefit, because when you say, "Hey, let's open up the phones," basically they're calling in to set an appointment. So you're getting appointments and you're getting that name recognition. And I don't know that we touched on that properly. So radio is certainly a great option. We have always had really good experience with the face-to-face seminars. We do a lot of different seminars here, but none more successfully than Social Security claiming seminars. They are easier to do. We get more people for them. They're easier to get people in the room. The rooms are less expensive. There's just all kinds of good reasons why Social Security seminars are great, and that's starting to get back rolling again. We canceled how many did we cancel, Dave, in February of 2020?
Somewhere between 15 and 20, and it was just a shame too. But what's so exciting, Steve? A bunch of those advisors are coming back in and doing them here now. They're just starting to really gear back up again.
Yeah,
Yep.
if you can find areas right now, if your library is open, if your community college is open, then people will come. There's a pent up desire for people to get out and do some face to face. And our age group here, the 50 plus age group, is easily the most vaccinated group as well. So they're more comfortable going out and they want to go out. Let's get back in the seminar business. It's a great way to meet people, and Dave does the A to C coaching on A to Z. Did I say A to C? A to Z coaching on that as well. So everybody wants to talk with you, Dave. That's great. I think we have just a couple people that are actually unable to vote. And so if those folks, again, I'll say again, if you would like to chat with Dave, just give me a call at 800-255-5055. I will get it set up and we'll get you talking to him. So great webinar today, Dave. Thank you as always. A lot of great information flying about when Dave is on the phone. So, and it would be the same when you have a meeting with Dave. You're going to get something from him. That's the cherry on top of the sundae here, is that whether you don't want to do Social Security coaching, don't want to do radio, don't want to do seminars, you're going to get some good information from Dave because he does exactly what you do. And as I said at one point, I think from a marketing standpoint, I don't know right now that we have a producer that does it any better or any more than Dave. So that's a valuable conversation that you'll have with him. So thank you for joining us today. Great webinar. We certainly appreciate all of you folks that take time out of your schedules to learn more to help your clients. As I said at the outset, you're the folks that we want to be associated with. We have a bias towards helping you. So give us a call. Let us know what we can do to help you. 800-255-5055. You're all going to get a call from Dave Corwin because you all asked to speak with Dave. So you're going to hear from David Corwin to set up a time with Dave and his team here over the next probably 2, 3, 4 days after the weekend. So great opportunity. Thanks for joining us. Dave, is there anything that you want to add as we close up?
Nope, just appreciate everybody being on today, taking the time, and hopefully you learned something, and I'm looking forward to speaking with you.
Okay, great. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day. Have a great weekend.
Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.